What's up, everybody? It's Aftermath Online here for Sportsnet, and I have the pleasure of being joined today by the reigning and defending Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Sami, how are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
It sounds so good to be able to say that. It has a nice ring to it. Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn.
Yes, disputed no more.
Now, what's it been like being champion for most of this year?
Well, it's been an interesting year, to say the least. Because in some ways, I actually feel like I've been doing some of the best work of my WWE career for sure. Even though there's this big gap in 2020 where I wasn't there for about 5 months, it still feels like I was doing some really good things before and some really good things after. So all said, I think 2020 has been a really good year for me, despite the fact that there's a big chunk missing there. So it's just been really, really interesting. But I've dug it. I've really enjoyed what I've been doing.
I really like that you kept it up on Twitter while you were on hiatus. You were still never defeated, and you never missed an opportunity to tell people that fact.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if that's. I think it's kind of historic. First person to ever be a two-time champion to have never lost it to begin with.
What an odd statistic.
And when you're when you're a bad guy with a persecution complex as I am, then it's just a lot to work with,
Absolutely.
So it's just been a lot of fun.
So it's the Intercontinental title has this long, rich history to it, and now your name is on this list of champions. What does it mean to you to be on that list?
I mean, I'm sure you've heard other people of my ilk, my peers, guys who I came up with, have said the same thing about the Intercontinental Championship, about how it's kind of the one we all want to win. And the same holds true for me. I never was a huge... I don't know, maybe I'm lying about this. Everyone wants to win some championships. Everyone wants to be the champion and all this stuff on some level, but it was never something that I felt was make or break as far as defining my career. I mean, if I had never won the world championship, which I still haven't, but I'm saying if my career ends and I never win the world championship, I don't look at it as some sort of failure or anything like that. I've had a wonderful career, almost 19 years now. It's flown by, but it's been amazing, right? However, the Intercontinental Championship is sort of the one that I think so many guys of my generation, and if you look at work rate type guys, myself, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, these kind of guys who are kind of known for putting on some good matches, you kind of hear a lot that the Intercontinental Championship is important because so many of us were influenced by the guys that made that championship feel important. So, of course, I'm talking about, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect. These are some of the names that really made that championship mean a lot in the 90s when we were all, young and very impressionable. And certainly it left an impression because here we all are today,
Absolutely. Now, I did check the stats. I think you're at 244 days, 245 days in there somewhere.
I don't know. I asked the .com guy, one of our .com guys, and he had said I was at 270, and this was about a week ago or something. So I don't know.
I checked in. Their stats are all wrong anyway. They've got AJ and Jeff Hardy in there for some reason. I haven't figured that out. But I did check it. You're past the halfway point to the Honky Tonk Man's record. So you're on your way.
Different era, different era. I don't even know. God, that just seems so long now. You think back on it, what was this, 450 or something?
453 days.
Yeah, that's crazy. There just wasn't as much programming then. There wasn't, things just moved a lot slower then. You know what I mean? Not to take anything away, obviously he'll kind of, it's so funny. It's very funny that for a championship that has that reputation of being this like workhorse championship that has the best matches and, the hardest working guys. It's so funny that the Honky Tonk Man is the guy who has the most, legendary lengthy reign of all time. I find that there's some humor to that.
It's pretty fantastic. He was very good at outsmarting his opponents, and so have you been, because I want to go back to Clash of Champions. Where did this idea come for the handcuffs?
So I wish I could take all the credit, but in fact, my producer, who was Jamie Noble at the time, came up with the idea, or the nuts and bolts of the idea, and then, you know, kind of worked with it from there. But it's kind of allowed me to go into this new direction with the character a little bit as this master strategist. And what I like about it is that it's at least until this point, it's not cheating. You know, it's working within the framework to get an advantage. It's not outright cheating, which is something that I kind of like. You know, it's almost like there's something even more annoying about that, where it's like, can't get mad, not touching, can't get technically not breaking the rules here, you know?
I do some improv, and I always think I know the rules and I know how to work within them or how to bend them the right way. And I think that was a really good example of bending the rules or working within them to your own advantage.
Right. And even the thing I did, I think a week or two later with Jeff Hardy, which I really enjoyed, which was taking off the turnbuckle before the match even started. Right. So when it happened to get used, it was happenstance. It was situational, you know. I didn't do anything during the match that would have broken any rules. So that's the kind of thing I'm trying to work on, and come up with clever little ways to work within the rules. That's what I'm kind of going for at the moment with this whole master strategist thing.
I love it. It's just the handcuffs are just one example of the many times you've managed to outsmart your opponents. Do you feel like you have the upper hand in the ring when it comes to intelligence over the rest of the SmackDown roster?
Well, it's certainly what I'm going for. Yeah. Because look, you know, we have some incredible athletes, and I can't say I'm the best athlete. You know, I can't say with absolute certainty that nobody's a better athlete. There are people who are more athletic. And I can't say with any certainty that I'm the strongest, because clearly we have some powerhouses, some beasts on the roster. So this sort of becomes the thing that I can say, well, this is my domain. You might be able to, you know, you might be able to run faster. You might be able to jump harder. You might be able to kick harder. You might be able to throw me over your head. I got the brains. And as long as you got the brains, you have a fighting chance against anybody on any night. And, especially when you can convince people of that, then it makes it more enjoyable to watch, you know, because just as an example, I was going in the ring recently at Survivor Series with Bobby Lashley. Have you seen Bobby Lashley?
Yes.
I mean, really one of the most physically impressive people on the planet. Never mind WWE. You're just on planet Earth. You look at him and you're like, whoa, okay. You know, but because I had kind of gotten this master strategist thing going, it doesn't become like, oh, this guy doesn't have a chance. Or why would I even want to watch this? This guy's just going to cream this guy because, I mean, look at him. So you can always keep it interesting. And that's something that for me is kind of the whole point of what we're doing, is to always kind of keep it interesting, keep people on their toes, and have them speculate as to what might happen and never actually be sure, you know? And that sort of unpredictability is what I think is very, very enjoyable, maybe crucial to what we do. And I'm glad that now there's that depth and there's that edge or angle to that character that keeps you kind of guessing, no matter who I'm in the ring against.
It's been fantastic, and you've managed to beat an impressive list of superstars this year: Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman, AJ Styles. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone that is on Sami Zayn's list? Who's next?
So I don't have a list because I'm holding the Intercontinental Championship. I'm on their list.
This is true.
You know, I'm not out to get anybody. I want to be left alone. I have this championship. Just you do your thing. Leave me here to represent the people of the many countries, of the many continents of the world. I'm happy where I'm at. But of course, when you hold that championship, people are out to get you. And, you know, I don't think it's a stretch to say maybe WWE management is out to get me a little bit too. That's a whole other thing. But you have to kind of be ready to, adapt to whoever may have their sights set on you. So whether that's Big E, whether that's Chad Gable, whether that's Daniel Bryan, you have to be very adaptable when their eyes are on you. when the time comes, when they come to you, you have to kind of be ready, and that's the thing.
Always ready. You have to be ready at any opportunity.
Yeah, and that's from a character and out of character perspective when it comes to WWE. You genuinely have to be extremely adaptable. But certainly when it comes to the in-ring aspect, that's totally true on just so many levels.
Now, it wouldn't be an interview with a wrestler if I didn't ask the cliche question. So, past or present, the one superstar that would be a dream match for Sami Zayn?
It'd have to be Bret Hart. If I could go past or present, it would have to be Bret Hart. Man, I think we could have a great match. And, one who kind of blurs that line of past and present is Rey Mysterio. Because, even if he was done his career, he'd be on my list. But he's still around. And not only is he still around, but he's competing at an incredible level. And I don't understand how he's doing it. I just don't. How can you be this good after all these years? So I'd love to get a proper match with Rey Mysterio, because we've kind of been in the ring a couple of times, but it's been in multi-man matches or like in a gauntlet match where I was in the ring with him for a minute, or just little things. But I would love to be able to tell a good story, have a good rivalry, and have a good 15, 20-minute match at a pay-per-view or something like that with Rey Mysterio. That's definitely I got to get that one in before he calls it a day. That's for sure.
He seems to have been dipped in the fountain of youth.
And it's crazy because, it's not like he's avoided injury. He has, I think he's had eight surgeries on his knee. I don't understand. I just don't. Anyways, more power to him. He's really incredible. But, like I said, that's definitely one it's sort of an all-time dream list that is still somehow attainable. So that's one that I might have to lobby, or I might have to add him to my list in this one instance.
Maybe you can talk your way into it with management and say, don't put me in a match with him. And you know how they like to mess with you. So maybe they'll do it.
Whatever
Reverse psychology.
Do not put me in a match with Rey Mysterio. Right?
Oh, no, I'm in a match with Rey.
Yeah. Don't do it at WrestleMania. Do not do it at WrestleMania.
Sammy, thanks so much for joining us today here on Aftermath.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can't believe this is my first time on the show after all these years.
Anytime. Come on up anytime. We'll have a chair reserved.
All right. Thanks so much.